I'm going to show you how to solve Leetcode question 150, evaluate reverse Polish notation. Basically, it asks you to give you a list of tokens, and the valid operations are plus, just basically plus, minus, multiplex, and division, and each operand may be an integer or another expression. So it's either numbers of these operators. That note that division between two integers should truncate towards zero. This is something important that you want to pay attention to, that you must consider that to truncate them towards zero. It is guaranteed that given the reverse Polish notation expression is always valid. That means the expression will always evaluate to a result, and that will not be any division by zero operation. So look at the example here. Basically, how it works is that number, and when you see an operator, right, you basically need to put the operator right before the previous number, so it will become 2 plus 1. And after you calculate the 2 plus 1, and you replace them with a number, right, and then you will see another number, and then you see an operator, and then this operator needs to be inserted into before this number and in between the first number and then the second number. That's why you need to multiplex 3, and that's why you get the answer 9. Same as the next example, you get 4, 13, 5, and then you see the division, and then you divide 5, and then you calculate them, and then you need to plus 4 with the second number you calculated, so the end result is 6. There is another example here, and there are some constraints here, and this is a question asked by multiple company, Google 71 times in the last 6 months. So great question to practice on. And if you want to solve this problem in O(n) time complexity, then the best way is to do this via a data structure called a stack. And if you do this via stack, then you can easily calculate this number. Basically, the idea is that you want to have this stack, and you want to start putting numbers in there. And using the first example, I put 2 there, and I put 1 in the stack, and then I will put the plus sign, right? When not necessarily putting in there, but when I see a plus sign, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pop this number and also pop this number. So then at the same time, I'm gonna calculate 2 plus 1. So it will be equal 3, right? And then after I calculated 3, I'm gonna append the 3 back into the stack, and then I'm just gonna continue to add the rest of the number, and then it will be 3, right? And then I see the operator multiplex, and then I'm gonna start popping the numbers again, and then I'm gonna pop 3 and a multiplex the first 3. So then our calculate number is 9. So then I'm gonna append the result to the 9, and in the end I'm just gonna popping everything from the stack. Basically, there's only one final result, and then this is the pop the result equals to 9 in this case, then I get a result. The other thing that you need to pay attention to is that the division between two integers should truncate toward 0. So if you have, like in Python, if you minus 9, for example, minus 9, you divide 5, and you will get 2. But then if you want to truncate to 0, if there's an easy way to do this in Python, is if you do a int function. When you do an int function, it will truncate this value to 0. Even like the division result is, let's say a division result is 1.9, it will still truncate it to toward 0, basically the smaller number, which is 1. That's something that you need to pay attention to. If you're using other language, you should look into how to do this in any other language. And that's pretty much it. And let me show you how to do this in code. So at the beginning, I'm just gonna initialize our stack, and I'm gonna use the stack to pop the value. So for n in tokens, for every single value in tokens, I'm gonna start appending this value in n to my stack. So if n not in these operators, so plus, minus, and then division, if they're not the operator, they're numbers, right? They're numbers, I'm gonna append the numbers into my stack, and I'm gonna say pay attention that these are string here. So when I append to the stack, I want to append them as integer so that I can calculate them as number. And I'm just gonna continue, right? If they're not, I'm gonna continue to the next number. And then so when I have when I see a number that is an operator, and I will need to start popping. So if so when I pop is when I pop, the beginning is I have 2 and I have 1, right? From this list here, when I'm start popping, when I pop from the top of the stack, the number I get will be 1. So I have to assign the number 2 to stack.pop. I want to put 1 as n2, and n1 equals to stack.pop again, and n1 will be equal to 2. It doesn't really matter if the operator is plus, because 2 plus 1, 1 plus 2 is the same, but if the minus will be different. If it's minus, you want to make sure you minus the first number minus the second number. It should be first number minus the second number. If that is the case, that's why you have to assign the top. When you pop from the top of the stack, you want to put the first number you pop from the stack as n2, because you want to minus that number, right, in the minus condition. And then I'm going to calculate the result, and I'm going to set the result to 0 at the beginning. So if the next n I'm checking equals to plus sign, what I'm going to do is the result will be equal to n1 plus n2, right? And elif if n equals to minus, this is the case that we have to pay attention to. It's n1 minus n2 in this case, because we popped the 1 first, and then we popped to 2, and then we want a 2 minus 1. And if n equals to multiplex, and then I will say the result is equal to n1 multiplex n2, else is the rest of the condition, the result will be equal to, remember how we truncate the division toward 0? When we do that, it's the int function and n1 divide n2. That's the int function. And after that, I will have the result, right? And I'm going to append the result. After I get the result, and I'm going to append the result to the stack. So the stack will have the 3 here, and then I can move on to the next calculation. And in the end, I'm just going to return stack.pop. I'm going to pop from the top of the stack here. And then this should be it. Yep, if you think this is helpful, please like my video and subscribe to my channel. And I'll see you soon with more Leetcode question. Alright, bye-bye.